Right. So I am using some of my Sora access to go through and make new videos here. And I'm just kind of looking for any suggestions or anything that might make sense. Now I'm trying to get the chat up here. Uh, there we go. So I'm going to start this off and let's see. I attempted to take this video of my dog and have it stand up and dance like a human. It will move around. Um, it just doesn't seem to carry on the way that it should. Um, be really nice if I could get it to behave the way it should. Um, and I gotta log into things here, and we'll try making some new ones. If you're in waiting here, I am working on getting into the chat at the moment. And confirming here. All right. So I'm going to try this first one. I'll say a monkey and a rattlesnake are sitting at a table in a fancy restaurant about to have dinner. Monkey is drinking, or let's say the monkey is wearing a tuxedo. All right, and I'm gonna crank this up to 720, and I'm gonna let it create the one video that it will do. Apparently, I only have 5 seconds of access here, so we'll give it a try and see what it can create for us here. Now, they did say in the video that the more detail you give it, the better. It can create using its own imagination the way they talked if you leave it kind of vague. So the monkey and the rattlesnake sitting at a table. I didn't get super descriptive about it being anything other than a fancy restaurant. So we'll see what it interprets to be a fancy restaurant along the way. Um, and it is seemingly running a bit slow here. Let's see, we can do a grid. There are a couple different options there. All right. So the snake has no head. Monkey's like eating its tuxedo a little bit. looks like the monkey is trying to have the tuxedo for dinner, or the snake. That's some weirdness right there. So we can recut with the storyboard. You can blend this video into another one, create a seamless loop. Um, Lots of different options there. So, um, let's go see what all we have to do to create another one here. By all means, if you're watching and you have any ideas or anything that you want to see, um, speak up, let us know in the chat, and we'll give it a try. So everything's on here starts from this recent view, and these are examples of things that people have generated. Um, Anybody can go and see these without even logging in. You can see things that are popping up, um, things that other people have made. Now, if you make one that you are particularly happy with, you can share it out and it will publish onto this page. So that way you can kind of explore things at your own pace. This F1 one is pretty wild. Looks like it's shot on a 360 cam. Now, you can get information about the prompts um, along the way, and all you have to do is click on the page that you're watching, and this one will tell us kind of the two different storyboards that they put together to make it. So, and this one they put down, well, actually, it's not giving me the two otters, one male wearing blue and white striped shirt, and the other a female wearing a white sweater, rainbow stripes, visit the zoo together, and look at the otters in the zoo swimming. They turn to each other and hug. And the zoo is in Finland. So the thing that I've seen with this is it doesn't make what you're asking very well. It'll make you something. And if you keep trying and you had access and you could really refine what you're doing, then it gets better and better. But in mine, I specifically asked it to make this dog stand up on the couch and start dancing, and it just made them like moving pictures. That's all it did for it. So I don't know if the $200 a month plus users are getting any kind of benefit out of it more so than that. Um, I will say it did a pretty good job on the setting here for our monkey having dinner. Um, but aside from that, I mean, it's not it's not been impressive so far. If we go down to 420, I can up it to 10 seconds and we can do two videos. If I shorten it to five, it will let you, oh, see if I can get it back up. If you shorten it to five, um, well, maybe you have to go square. Maybe one to one will let you do. Yeah. Well, no, even one to one doesn't. 9 by 16 doesn't. So you must have to be like the pro level 200 a month subscriber to be able to do the other. So um, let's try one. Um, the United States military marching troops into Candyland to take power from a candy king. All right, we'll see if we get tagged by it and it tells us it can't do it because of the prompt in particular we put in. Loading up. So it does kind of snag on 99% some, at least in our experience with it. March to Candyland Castle is what it named this one. Um, and it'll be the kind of thing to where you just hover over either side and you can watch what the video is that it creates. So, all right. Um, so I mean, the ones on the right look like they're trying to actually get it together, and they're holding the guns are kind of discombobulated. Um, these over here, you can kind of tell they're holding a gun. Um, but I mean, it is kind of the road to the castle here, so it does stick a little bit with it. Now we can change the storyboard here. Rows of the United States military troops march in perfect formation. We can change this to stroll in groups down a road made of peppermint sticks, surrounded by candy canes. So it did quite a bit of editing. Troops are dressed in standard military battle. We'll put BDUs. See if it looks up what it is. Carrying, we'll put M16s. And I don't care if they're at their side. Um, in the distance, a whimsical castle made of gingerbread and icing rises, making the kingdom. Okay. Uh, the troops approach the candy castle, their shadows cast on the brightly colored candy path. So, right here, we'll say a king made of candy walks through the, or walks out the front of the castle to surrender and yields to the troops approaching. All right. Anything else? Anything else we should put in there? I'm looking at the chat. I don't see any posts coming up. So we'll go with this. Let's see what we can pull up here. It's in the queue. It's going to do two versions for us again. I'm still using the lower quality because the lower quality seems to give us a little more in the way of options. So that part's nice. And now we wait on this to pop back up. All right. And here we go. So now they're kind of running up there. Oh, the king's trying to run away. So it feels like it just totally changes perspectives. The castle changes everything on this one on the right, and this one on the right got closer. This guy is, I guess that's meant to be the king, and he's like just stumbling and falling down. Um, so the ones that are popping up in the recents area are dramatically better than what I've been able to find or produce myself. So these are all shared from the public. Anybody can view this. If you go to Sora.com, you can go and see what the latest ones are. Um, that's a really cool one. I like the look of that. Um, so maybe I need to be putting in like photorealistic as well. Um, I tried uploading photos and having them manipulated, but if it has people in it, it's still very sensitive as to what it'll accept. Um, some of these are hyper realistic, and others are like some kind of weird form of animation. Oh, this raccoon, that's pretty interesting. It looks like a human wearing a raccoon mask in the second frames. I really like this one. So let's try another one. So we'll go back over to here. Um, we can try a 1-to-1 scale, a social media influencer. Let's see. We gotta think of something really funny. So a bear contemplates life sitting on the curb in New York. Photorealistic. He is eating fish and wearing a dirty t-shirt. So that's going to leave quite a bit to its imagination. We'll stretch it out to 10 seconds on this one. If we go down to one video at 10 seconds, I can do, oh, it bumps it down. Let's do a 10-second one for the 480p and see if we can get it. Because if you can get a good one, you could always cut it down some. Um, right. Now to just wait on this to Bear's Urban Feast. 39%. I don't know how the API is going to be set up to work, but I can imagine it could be pretty interesting submitting stuff to the API and trying to do the editing from that. And I feel certain that the people that had access to this with the movie studios and the various other things, I really think that they would have had this kind of interface to work with as opposed to just submitting. Wow. Hmm. I think it got closer. So let's do two more. And let's see, what else can we change this to? Do 16 by 9, a fighter jet flying through a miniature maze made of wood like the old Labyrinth game. Throw this up there. Correct my spelling there. All right, and yeah, I still can't get it up to the 4, but we'll do 2 with this. I'm setting it to two, but it's not producing two anymore. Fighter jet, flight through a miniature maze of wood like an old labyrinth game. Getting closer. All right, there are two versions of this one. I think it would have been interesting to add a little more about the afterburners or something to try to increase the detail here. Neither one of these jets are flying. They are falling. Well, so I don't, maybe they're just hyper detailed in the way that they tell it or something. I don't see how they're necessarily getting like ones like this out. Um, this is insanely good. Um, and they're doing it with tiny forearms and it's still that's maybe that's why they have something set up to share them is because it takes a lot to pull off something really awesome. And I gotta see the prompt for this one. Epic cartoon opening credits. So they let the AI do a whole lot more on that. Let's see. Oh, this shared out mine. So I don't know if it's I thought you had to like save it and do the featured type thing in order for it to save. That makes me less likely to try things um, on my own, knowing that whatever it puts out, if I submit a picture of myself and have it do something crazy, what's going to happen? Is it going to add it to this list? Um, this cat, they probably told to drink that malt liquor, and instead they get that one lick off to the side. I think there's a lot of potential here, but so far, I'm not super impressed with being able to tell it things. So here's another one from the ones that we made that just made its way in here. Snake. So let's see what this one is. A bunch of chimpanzees at a 90s British techno rave. So looking up close at a human's eye. I has seen goats red and its color in the skin is a bright red with an almost scaly look. Scene then pulls back to show demon crying hysterically. So get a little crazier with it, but it also has some bits that, judging from the other ones, I think it might be able to put together. So we'll see how this works. I'm producing it now. It did occur to me too just then, while we're looking at this, this may have, nope, it did just produce the one. So we're at 95% already. This is coming through faster now. And it's almost done. This one he's crying. Looks like tears of blood. So I think the one on the right, I mean, that's the closest thing to proper I've gotten out of this. Let's see if it's featured on the recent. I love these poodles. Um, the scary clown. That's pretty decent quality there. And reload the page. Toilet bowl war. So I haven't really run into anything that just like they shut down as an option. Um, I think I'm okay with this one being shared out. So let's see if by favoriting it, it features it anywhere. They've got to have something out algorithmically that's picking up on that too. I would think. It's going to be fun in the next few days as people start to really test the elements on this and like where the safety controls are. Um, and if it is just randomly sharing this stuff out, there's no telling what will get shared based off of people trying to test the elements. I mean, that looks a bit like a marijuana plant there. Well, ish. It's like a twisted one. So, all right. Well, I think that's where I'm going to cut it for today. Hopefully, this picks up, gets a little bit better as things go. But thanks for watching.